Hi, my name's Annie, and this is my lovely co-host Tony, who very much wants to be in my lap. So I guess that's where we're going to be filming today. I've just got a new webcam set up and a new ring light, so I'm kind of testing out how things are with that. Instead of having the webcam up on my monitor, it's now right in front of me, which means my view of the monitor is somewhat blocked. So I'm getting used to that. But anyways, this is my channel, Annie's Ageless Beauty. If you're interested in checking out my other channel about weight loss and manners of diet and things like that, you can check out my other channel, Annie Eats Less. I'll have that link down below. If you like this video, please like it down below. I'd really appreciate that. If you want to see more of what I make, please subscribe and also click on the bell notification so you'll get notified when I make more content. Today I'm going to be doing a very quick video where I'm just going to be doing an eye look using the Natasha Denona Peak palette, which inside looks like that. So this is what the Natasha Denona Peak palette looks like. It came in a BoxyCharm, I think in October, but if I'm wrong, I'll go ahead and leave a note up in the corner, probably that corner. And I was really happy to see it. So that's what this looks like when it's closed up. The reason I have a number over here is because I number all of my palettes. The reason that I have a number on my palette is because I use a random number generator. That way, on mornings when I'm not sure what I want to wear, I can let the random number generator decide for me. And also it's a good way for me to actually use all of my palettes instead of having some just kind of sink towards the bottom of the drawer or get forgotten. If there's a palette I really hate using and don't ever want to use, I'll declutter it. I won't just forget about it. And it also helps me actually discover some palettes that I actually like. I actually use this palette fairly frequently, even without the random number generator. Tony, what are you staring at? So I'm going to go ahead and put my look together right now. So this is what it looks like up close. As you can see, the orange color has a dig mark in it. That's where Bailey ran across it with his claws the very first time I was using it. But that's what happens when you have cats. Get used to that sort of thing. So this is a bit of an experiment. I hope the extreme close-up isn't too scary and that it's focusing all right. Like I said, this is a new setup, so it's kind of an experiment for me. The very first thing I'm going to do is go into the shade Aya, or Aya, I guess. I'm not sure how you pronounce it exactly. But I think this would make a very good brow bone color. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I know what makes a good brow bone color because I've used this palette several times. It's a nice palette. Go ahead and lift my eyes up and see the difference it makes and kind of brightening up my eyes, making them look a little bit bigger. I'm already pretty pale skinned, so light colors kind of just enhance my natural paleness. But this is a nice color. I'll put that in my eyebrow here. I've already put on my foundation, blush, highlighter, and all that. I'm not wearing lipstick yet, but I will be after I do this. So, the next shade I'm going to go into is this pinky shade right here, which is Amhara. It's a very nice shade, and I'm going to use the packing brush again. I'm just going to put it right under where I put the brow bone color, and then brush down into the crease, like so. I think it's a very flattering color. For deepening up the look, there's two really good options here, Thorn and Jasper. This one would be Jasper, and then this one would be Thorn, the one in the middle. Thorn is more of a neutral brown. I would say it's a middle of the road brown, not too dark, not too light. It swatches really well. It looks good on my skin. And the Jasper also does too. Go in twice so you can see on both of them. So both of these have good coverage, as you can see. I think it's a little overkill to go in with both. I want to do a little simpler eye look. I typically don't go in with both. I'll pick one or the other to deepen up my look. And I think today I'm just going to go in with, I really like them both. They're both great colors. I think I'm going to go in with the brown. Using the brown will make the whole look more neutral. Go ahead and put it in the last third, bring it over inside. I'm putting it on the outer third of my eye and then just kind of sweeping it in. There's not a lot of kickback in the pan. It's really, really nice. And 99% of the time when I do a look, what I do is I put whatever color I'm putting on the third, sweeping it underneath my eye as well so that it connects I went a little too far over this way. This blends really, really well. I just kind of jammed it into the wrong place over on this side. So it's not the palette's fault. It's me being clumsy's fault. Tony needed a loving break. She does that where she just tapped me. Because I have such mature skin, I'm 53 years old. Because I have such mature skin and I'm prone to wrinkles right here in the corner of my eye, I have to make sure that I really pack it into those wrinkles. I don't mean pack it in as in put a lot on, but make sure that I have full coverage on all of the skin. I guess I could try pulling it down. Might be easier just to pull down on it. Now this is a really nice color. And when I put on Jasper, the more orangey color, I think, wow, that's a really nice color too. I'm going to take it all the way over to right here, the inner eye, and blend it out above that pinker color, or into that pinker color. I'm trying to get a kind of a gradient going. And now I'm going to go ahead and do the other eye. I'll cut that part out. Okay, so now I've done both eyes with that brown color, and I think it's simply gorgeous. This is a really, really pretty palette. So now I'm going to go to the lid color. For my lid, I'm going to be using the only shimmer shade, which is this one right here called Shine. I usually put it on with my finger, but I'm going to go ahead and try it with a brush this time. So I just have a small shimmer brush here. I don't know what that's called. It's probably called it's a very thin, densely packed. It goes on very nice. So I'm just going to put it on 2/3 of my eye. I'm going to stop before I get to the brown. I don't want to obliterate the brown I put on. And normally I put a different color on my inner eye, something brighter, but I think I'm just going to go ahead and put this on my inner eye as well and just use Natasha Denona. This is such a nice color. It is pretty bright, and I think it's going to work. This is what it looks like when I have the shimmer shade on my lid, as well as putting it into my inner eye. And I'm going to do that on the other side as well. So I'm just going to put a little finishing spray on, see if that changes anything. And I'm not sure that it is. I think it already looked pretty opaque. I don't know. Let me know down below if you think you can see a difference. This is a very, I just love this color scheme. It just feels warm and bright, and it just feels pretty. I'm going to take a blending brush, just put a little bit more of that dark shade on, because I don't want to cover it up with my shimmer shade, and take it back over the crease and make sure that it's nice and deep in there. I want to blend out under my eye as well as making sure everything is well blended. And do that on the other side and be right back. Okay, now that I've done that, I feel like I would like a different color on my inner eye. I'm going to grab something that I can use to put in my inner eye. So here's the Kat Von D Alchemist Palette. I know Kat Von D isn't really fashionable anymore, or isn't a really well-regarded brand anymore, that she says some things that are unfortunate. But I really like this palette. I really like the shimmeriness of this and the shifting colors of it. And maybe I'm not that mature, but that's how I roll. This green one, Emerald, is just one of my favorite shades, period, for my inner eye. No matter what I'm wearing, I kind of like to throw this in. So I'm going to go ahead and do that using the brush that I used to put on my lid color. I don't want to take it too far in because I obviously don't want to get it on the lid itself, because that lid color doesn't really need any help from anything. Yeah, I think it really does just brighten up the eye so much, just having a little bit of green, a little bit of really reflective light green in there. So I'm doing the same thing for the other eye. I've gone ahead and put it on both eyes. I don't really think that the Natasha Denona Peak palette needs help, but just for my preference, I like having a little light green on my eyes like that. So, or on my tear ducts like that in the corner of the inner eye. I feel like I should add that I am not a professional makeup artist. I was never really taught how to do it when I was growing up. I only learned a year or so ago by watching YouTube videos. So I'm still learning, and basically this is just what I've learned by watching YouTube videos and what I decided I like on my own. And I could be 100% unfashionable, doing it wrong, looking like a clown, I don't know, maybe. But this is what I like. I want to focus on this one right here and kind of move it around. And aside from the cat running across it and digging a chunk out of it, There's really not a lot missing out of these pans. They're full-sized, and I've used them several times, and there isn't really a dip to speak of. A little tiny bit on the shimmer. These are really highly pigmented, really packed well. It's not hard pressed, but I get the sense that there's a lot in there. And I could probably use this for years. Not every day for years and years and years. But I have a feeling at the rate that I use it, it's going to last for years. This is the only Natasha Denona eyeshadow I own, and I really like it. Made BoxyCharm really, really worth it for me that month. Okay, I'm going to be a little bit adventurous and attempt to use a black eyeliner that's a liquid. I almost never do this. I almost always use gel liners. I'm not going to attempt a wing. I'm just going to try to put a really thin line around my eyes. Maybe just the upper one. Probably just the upper one. I think that's all that I need. Actually, I don't think I need anything. I think this looks good the way it is. But I'd like to experiment a little and see if I can get it to work or not. This is the Dragon Liner, liquid liner, and I think I got it from pretty sure it was an Ipsy glam bag. So I'm going to go ahead and try to put that on, and we'll see how it looks. Okay, so I just did it on my left eye. I am left-handed, and my left hand is one I'm most confident about, and I think it came out pretty well. Let's see if I do as well on my right side. Okay, so I have my eyeliner on both sides now. Like I said, I'm not going to do my lower lash line because I'm not confident enough. Maybe I'll try anyways. This is just YouTube. You guys will still love me, right? This is a really, really thin liner, and I'm finding it is easy to draw with. So we're going to see. If I mess it up, just remember what I looked like in the Natasha Denona palette before I got adventurous. So I just put it on my lower lash lines, as you can see, maybe, hopefully. It's a little rough. But from a distance, I can't tell because I don't have my glasses on. Okay, from a distance, with my glasses on, therefore, blocking it, I think it looks fine. I'm not really confident enough to wear it out. But since I'm just going to be staying here filming some videos and cooking fajitas for my husband in an hour or so, I think it's good enough for that. My eye is watering a little. I think that's a little close to my eye with the liner. So, this is L'Oreal Voluminous Original Black Brown. I know that L'Oreal is a drugstore brand, and I have several not drugstore brands since I've got Ipsy and BoxyCharm. But I still like this stuff. I really like the wand isn't so big. So I'm just going to go ahead and apply this to both of my eyes. I'll be back in a second. Okay, now I have my mascara on as well as my eyeliner. So this is my eye look, and I think I really like it. In fact, I know I do. The Natasha Denona Pink Palette is very easy to apply and pick out a coherent look. It's only got the 5 shadows, but they all work together really, really well. The only thing I think is really lacking is an inner eye color, but that's mainly because I like to throw a contrasting color in there. I don't think the eye look would be lacking if I didn't. Just for my personal likes, I like to throw something else in there. But I think most people have plenty of other things they can use as their inner eye highlight if they feel the need to do so. And I think the eye look was quite pretty before I did add it. The liquid black eyeliner that I have on is a little more dramatic than what I'm used to. I typically just use eyeshadow to line my eyes. I have lined my eyes with this palette using this middle shade here. But since that's the color I mainly use to put in my third of my eye right here and deepen my crease, unless I'm using the Jasper one instead, I like to have something a little darker than what I'm using to deepen up my eye look when I line my eyes. For the shade Thorn is just a little bit too light to be a really good eyelining shade. That said, I have used it as eyeliner and it looked okay. I would have preferred to be a little bit darker. So while it's not a palette that has exactly everything you could ever want as far as things you might want to add to your eye look, I think it excels at giving the user the ability to make a really nice eye look. Just just that. It's really nice. I really like how this palette works. If you went with this shade here, Jasper, instead of the brown to deepen it up and to kind of brighten everything up, I think it would be a more glamorous look. The eye look I have right now, I think is neutral enough that most people would feel comfortable wearing it to work. I know I have. And I'm back. This is the best I can do with my lipstick. It doesn't seem to matter what I do, whether I line it or not, whether I use a primer or not. Whatever I do, it never looks even to me. It doesn't matter the color, whether I'm putting it in at home or at work, whether I have a camera in front of my face or whether I don't. My lipstick always looks uneven to me, really wildly uneven. And I've just come to the conclusion that my face is uneven. So that's part of my charm, I guess. There are worse things to have to live with. But I will say that I do think that the rest of my face looks okay, especially my eyes. I think BoxyCharm did a really good thing in including this palette. It's really one of my favorite palettes, even though it has just 5 pans. There are 5 good pans. Well, there's only 5 pans in the palette. I think that there's enough variety with those 2 different darker shades that you can make a more neutral look or a more glamorous evening look. It might not be the most versatile of palettes, but it's a very flattering palette for most people. At least that's what I think by looking at it. So that's all I have for today's video. If you have any comments, questions, or criticisms, feel free to leave those below. Thanks for watching, and I hope you watch some more of my videos later on. That's all. Goodbye.